So, hello everyone! Time for, of course, to finally the Spring 2020 Ultimate Anime Guide. Well, that's what we're going to drop for them. I don't care about it all. Of course, unfortunately, Zero, right, was of course... of course, yeah, here we go. Zero, of course, was delayed, right? We all know why. Don't have a video about that, right? So instead, obviously, Kaguya-sama, how cute! Freaking me too. Yeah, like Kaguya-sama. There we go. Yeah, of course, Kaguya-sama is number one this season, right? I mean, obviously, I don't even have to do the guide more for that, right? We all know that Kaguya-sama is clearly the best thing coming pre-season. It was one of the best anime last year, absolutely best anime last year, and I think undoubtedly Kaguya-sama Season 2 is gonna be the best anime next season. I think so immediately. Yeah, I don't think there's much discussion about that. I think almost everyone agrees that Kaguya-sama is a freaking masterpiece, and Season 2 is gonna be awesome. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of shika, and I think we're all hoping for some new I don't know, shika dance or something, right? To use huge amount of shika stuff. I think we all waiting for that. But whatever, we're gonna go down the list popularity, and there has to be some issue here, right? Because there's no way the Plunder is the most popular anime for next season. It's not the most popular anime now. It's Marvel in popular animes right now. It has, oh my god, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, Plunder is absolute crap in my opinion. Absolute crap. Absolutely. Why did it turn? Whatever. Also turn blue, whatever, yeah. Plunder is horrible. Okay, if you haven't seen Plunder for the first episodes this season, it is an absolute travesty. Like, the jokes are boring, main character is extremely dislikable, and after 3 episodes you hate the main character, and how I say it, it's very, very ecchi, right? It's very, very ecchi, it's supposed to be ecchi, but, and you know me, I don't mind ecchi, right? I mean, I'm loving especially viewers, right? With Yet Girls, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind ecchi for a second, right? Or like Kaguya-sama ecchi, the spin-off and so on. I don't mind ecchi, but Plunder has this like really bad ecchi, right? Boring ecchi. It's like the ecchi itself isn't really out there. It's like very, very plain. So but still it's constant all the time. Main catch is like annoying perv, whatever. Plunder, horrible anime. Don't watch this season either. Very, very bad anime in my opinion. I think one of the worst anime last season or this season. And we even have animes like Infinite Dendrogram. It's like Arifurata level of anime, yeah. But whatever, whatever. So Kaguya-sama, what I had mentioned, clearly the best anime this season, right? By far the best anime. You can make so much shika gifts, right? That alone is like shika. No, but Kaguya-sama, an amazing comedy anime, truly. It's just logical. It's Kadi of comedy, right? And Kadi is my favorite anime ever, so obviously I love Kaguya-sama. But yeah, an amazing anime. Clearly can be the best anime next season. Undoubtedly best anime next season. So that's what we're doing it on. And then this season has, so this will be a short live stream. Usually I do the longer bits, but man, this season has so many coming back animes, and I feel most of them are pretty meh. They're not Kaguya-sama, right? I think last season, last season, then winter has been pretty weak too, right? This spring looks also pretty weak, and there's a lot of these like season 2, season 3, not like this amazing big anime names, but more like this kind of mediocre animes. I think Get Here Again is another anime, season 3 of a comedy anime that, in my opinion, my team comedy snuff, it's an okay comedy anime. I don't think it's the best comedy anime. But compared to like Kaguya-sama, again, freaking masterpiece of comedy. This anime is like, it's okay. So I think we're gonna see this season here. There's a lot of animes that aren't really like, wow. It's more like, season 2 of this thing that wasn't that good to begin with. It's kind of like that. So I think if you like to, of course, want to watch the 3, right? But I think again, like you compare this comedy to the previous comedy here. Wow, massive difference. Anyway, let's go on. Sword of the Line again, right? It's like season 10 or Sword of the Line. That was like season 6, whatever. Yeah, you don't know about the anime. And then we have Soma, which is like, this is the worst. I haven't read the manga of the season. I have seen, up to this point, right? Everyone hating on this. I mean, not everyone hates this season in an absurd amount of hate for this season, right? It is just the worst thing ever. It's just crying every all the time. No, but like, the last season was really bad for many reasons because it's so predictable. That's one of the reasons. If you haven't seen the last season, it's incredibly easy to assume exactly who is gonna win or lose and so on in this like massive tournament, right? And the problem is that last season still kind of concludes mainly everything. You know, it concludes the Soma get season, it concludes everyone's position and so on. So yeah, 4th season's ending, really ending the father storyline, with both the father storyline and so on. Everything is basically, you know, wrapped up right and in a finished package. So, and it was bad. Like, it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. It was very forced ending. It was like with lazy writing and so on. But it still ended, right? It still ended. And this season, so again, I haven't read the manga, but everyone that I talked to, another guy used last week for a job thing, completely unrelated to, you know, manga and anime. He's like, oh yeah, you're the anime, so you can discussion. He's like, I hated Soma last week. Even this random guy that I don't even mean, like, I hated Soma. So everyone that's read this manga hates it. Like, they hate it. Yeah, they're like, my god, it's the worst thing ever. And it makes sense just from alone that it really ended last season. Like, it's no reason to have another season. And again, last season ended horribly. So it's like, man, what is it, like, very forced? So man, I don't know. I'm gonna watch it just to kind of laugh at it, but I'm expecting it to be dreadfully bad. Yeah, like it's gonna be horribly, horribly bad. And there's high popularity. It's like people are into that. It's obviously a bad anime. And then we have this new crunchyroll anime, Tower of God. I mean, I'm just gonna watch it because it's like their anime. But in my opinion, a lot of people are praising this anime. I don't know why, because I think it looks dreadfully bad from a art standpoint. And that isn't the biggest thing ever, honestly, for me. Kind of a games, right? Graphic in games, for me, is the last thing I care about. So I don't care about that much, but I have to say it because I'm always the honest reviewer, right? I'm an honest guy. Imagine I should call honest reviewers. Yeah, honest reviewer. Also, yeah. Because it's like, I look at the trailers, and people are on Twitter and so on, they're like praising it, right? And I'm not me just the, you know, the Crunchyroll fanboys, but like people that don't even like Crunchyroll are praising it, and so on. And I'm looking at like, man, it looks incredibly ugly. Like, the art style is ugly, the animation, the frame lack, the colorization, the hue is really bad. So I'm gonna watch it, but I think it looks dreadfully. It looks the ugliest anime this season coming. The budget looks a bit like, I don't know, it looks really ugly. So let's see, but I don't understand what people are liking it for. I don't get it. Anyway, Araburu, I'm watching it already. It's a pretty decent sport anime, right? It's like season 3 now, so you know, playing basketball. It's no Kuroko in the basket. It's just you know, more down to earth against basketball. I will say one thing though. I'm watching it every week on Wednesdays, not reacting to it, reviewing, but I'm watching it personally. I will say one thing. I feel that it's very slow pace right now. They had one game that ended 2 weeks ago. That was like 10 episodes, and that wasn't even like an important game in the actual like tournament. It was like a random friendly game where they of course mastered some new techniques, but it was like, man, it took forever. So yeah, it's gonna be like 64, I think, season long anime, or 50, but I think it's gonna be more actually. For a course, there should be more, whatever. But it is super slow. It's like 30 mega volumes. And then here we go. No, it's isekai time, right? So this anime, Hachi-nan Soruwa Nai Deshou, is very similar to like Honzuki. So Honzuki, you know, a woman dies, or a teen girl dies, becomes a 5-year-old girl, right? Here again, right, 25-year-old man dies, he becomes a little boy in this poor noble house. It's like the 8th son, he has to fight his way through, right? Of course, it's much more action-packed than Honzuki, very different isekai, but from a premise, it's like, I was reborn as a kid, right? Yeah, it's that kind of premise. Of course, Honzuki is also late in this season here, but it's like, yeah, these isekais, they've been done to death, I feel, right? It might be good, but to me, it seems like a pretty boring premise where it's like a power fantasy premise, right? It's Araburu again. You know, he's the weak son. He has to show them. This is the isekai they have done. It's like the 25 isekai with a similar storyline. I think again, for example, last year, or actually I guess 2 weeks ago, but also last year, we had Slime, right? Everyone loves Slime. I love Slime too. It's a great anime. But Slime is like, it's a similar thing. It's power isekai fantasy, but it also is, he's a slime, right? It's more entertaining, yeah. These kind of animes now, in my opinion, are getting more and more boring, right? Because we've already seen, like, I'm a slime, I'm a vending machine, I'm a spider. We've already seen the other more crazy that. It's like, I'm a teenage boy again. It's like, I don't know, man. That feels very, you know, it's like a letdown from the other isekais, which is more crazy, right? Or, you know, yeah. So I don't know. So it's probably, it feels to me like a very simple isekai, right? And we've seen so many of these kinda. I'm the underdog, but actually I'm not the underdog, right? Yeah, like grandson and whatever. He's also power fantasy, Jesus Christ. But it starts off with him being a kid as well, right? So yeah, been there, done that. It sounds incredibly generic. It might be good, but I very much doubt it. But I'll check it out. But I'm not, it's probably gonna be pretty bad. But if you like isekai trash, it's probably fine. And then we have what I really wanna see though. This is my number 2 season, Bakarina. So every Otome Flag, every Flash of Death. So this is like a very good anime. This is my favorite anime probably next season. Except of course Kaguya-sama. Of the new anime, this is by far my number 1. Okay, I read the manga of this anime, so I don't know what's going to be about. I don't have to spoil it too much, but basically Bakarina, or Katerina then, but Bakarina is lovely called, is about a girl that dies, right? She's isekai'd, but this isekai is a much more interesting thing. But this isekai, she's reborn as the bad guy. Hello, bitch, yeah. And this isekai then she's reborn as the bad guy. The typical kind of Disney storyline, right? Where you see the blonde chick there. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, she's basically the poor, nice girl, right? That everyone loves, and all the princes and the rich boss, so on, right, are falling for an innocent girl, right? But usually then, right, in the isekai premise, the main character will be reborn to this, poor, nice girl, right? But no, in this anime instead, Katerina is reborn as the typical evil stepsister, stepmom, right? The typical Disney evil character, and she's concerned that whatever happens to me, whatever happens with the actual main character, I'm the main character, yeah, the actual main character, I will die, right? She's so focused on whatever happens in the storyline is that she's gonna die. So I think this is like a really good anime. So again, this anime I really want to point out that is the best anime probably next season after, Kaguya-sama, but for the new animes, right? Because Katerina is hilarious. She's a very, I love her gardening stuff. It's really funny. It's an isekai, the Otome isekai, right? And they can call more of this. It's like the first real Otome isekai, like the female game isekai, if you like dating sim game as well. But it's really good. So I really recommend Katerina. That's gonna be the best thing next season, I think. After again the Kaguya-sama. But for the new anime, this is definitely the best anime next season. Massive recommending it, yeah. I mean Fruit Basket, of course, Toro Honda. Beautiful remake last year, one of the best animes last year. Also definitely a watch anime. If you have season 1, absolutely recommend, of course, go and see season 1 of Fruit Basket. One of the best anime last year for sure. Very dramatic, very romance oriented. A lot of great backstories, right? Very good anime. And then we have Gleipnir. Gleipnir I feel is how do I explain Gleipnir? It's one of those weird animes. It's one of those weird animes, yeah. It's one of those, it's like, okay, this anime is weird. So, in Gleipnir, it's like the main character turns into like a mascot dress, right? He turns into a mascot dress, and then this hot chick, right, this gal chick, the Garu chick, she can enter the mascot suit, and then she can fight like crazy enemies in the mascot suit, because the mascot has like guns and shit or something like that, right? So I think Gleipnir's gonna be a really good anime, or is it gonna be really weird? Like, this is probably the weirdest coming anime next season. And if you like animes like, I don't know, the Wonderland, the Bird Circle, the more brutal seinen animes, right? The Goblin Slayer sport, but animes with blood and death and mayhem and so on, right? But probably more like a weird premise in general, yeah, weird premise in general. Hot girl fighting in a mascot suit, and the mascot suit is like a fleshy mascot thing, but it's a human, and they have some kind of romance going on, right? So this anime, yeah, Gleipnir, that's on top of my list. But yeah, I'm waiting for some good shows to come too. I don't know, it's like, I would say immediately again here, I think this is pretty weak, honestly. And then of course Honzuki, I'm gonna watch that, right? I had last season, last year's one. Honzuki, very similar to other anime I mentioned earlier, right? About a young girl dies. I mentioned earlier she was born as a young girl, right? And she loves books, so she wants to write books, right? And learn about this world and so on. An isekai, but very different. If you haven't seen it, it's very different than normal isekai, because it's much more laid back. It's less of life instead of action. It's much more her. It's like, oh, I gotta cook some food today and learn how this works and go some plants and so on. Yeah, so it's very different than the normal isekai animes, for sure. Definitely. I kind of jokingly said last year, but I stand by that is probably most similar to Stone. Yeah, because it's like I'm in a new world, but I know technology, so I'm gonna rebuild stuff. An 8 Sun, come on, 8 Sun is like a generic isekai anime. Yeah. But this is 8 Sun 2, right? Yeah. So 8 Sun, this is 8 Sun 2. You know, we had 8 Sun earlier. They have the exact same premise. I'm reborn as a kid in this world. Then I train up and become this thing. Basic premise. But yeah, it's a lot of sequels. This sequel season again, sequel, right? Yeah, third season of Tori Reagan. Yeah, sequel. As related, actually, it's kind of weird. It's actually. It shouldn't really be here. It's like one episode coming in 2 days. This is not that. I don't know why it's wrong in the list here. No Guns No Life I'm watching. Probably react to it. So No Guns No Life also, you know, a sequel. Kind of a cool noir kind of anime, right? Gun with a head. You know, he has a head. His head's a gun instead of pretty cool anime. Really cool female character design. I think really cool, badass evil girls and so on. But pretty slow, somewhat weird paced animatic season 1. I think the kind of uneven anime. I think this one was swept really good. Some were kind of like, okay, nothing's happening. So yeah, a little uneven anime. So I probably won't like. I won't react to it personally because I felt that every second episode was kind of like, oh, okay. One problem with anime is that it's very, very episodic, weekly stuff. Where it's like 1 or 2 episodes is one storyline, and then the next episode is one storyline, right? Where one episode is about someone's bad life in this like dystopian mech cyber world, right? And then the next episode is another character, and the main plot line is moving forward very, very slowly. So I'm hoping then season 2 then they're gonna speed up kind of the general evil corporations storyline because well it's supposed to end right. And then here's another like comedy anime, which is about how to say it? Yesterday Utate. It's also more of a seinen comedy storyline, right? A little more mature jokes. A little more like that, you know. It's a little more grown-up jokes, you know, Genshika. A little more like that, right? It's not the slice of, not the slapstick comedy joke. It's more like, you know, observational comedy, I suppose, right? Something like that. It seems decent. I'm not super high, but it feels decent to me. Decent. And there's another anime I haven't seen even season 2 of, but yes, I don't know. And then this though is one of the anime I think is interesting. Kakushi Goto. So it's an anime about a hentai artist. So you know he does some hentai, right? And that's good hentai here that I found earlier for research purposes. Yeah. So this is about a hentai artist, and he is how do I say it? He's a hengaka, right? And he does hen stuff. Yeah, obviously. He has a young daughter, right? And he's trying to hide the fact from his young daughter that he is doing that he's doing hand, right? Yeah, he's trying to hide the backstory, right? Yeah, that's that's kind of it. So it's a comedy anime. It's pretty cute. It's pretty perverse, right? Sort of life anime. Trying to be like, not for you, Sean, and so on. Right? Yeah, it's pretty good. I think it's gonna be a pretty cool comedy anime. But yeah, obviously I'm happy that Kaguya-sama didn't get delayed, right? And then we of course have Studio Trigger saving anime again. So BNA is the next Studio Trigger anime, right? We all know about Darling in France and Kill, you know, yeah, the craziness that is Studio Trigger, and Little Miss Mia, of course, and so on. So BNA, you know, it's about like Tanuki, furry girl, so, you know, monster girl is hot, gotta smash it, so that's good at least. And it says it's gonna air earlier, soon here, so we can watch the beginning of it. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be something like, you know, it's gonna start out small, right? Save the world by playing a sport, yeah. And then it's gonna be like fighting alien space monsters in the space with throwing plants at them. And it's gonna be Alien. It's gonna be Alien. It's gonna be The Matrix. I'm telling you, every damn Trigger anime is like we start in a cave into the world, into the planet, into the galaxy. Right? That's every damn Trigger anime basically. You go from a small start into a massive space war. Right? I mean, if anything, I said about Darling in France, and I completely forgot. I made a video about Darling in France right 2 years ago then. A Tiro video, and I was 100% right about the hate because I am the massive Darling in France thing. Because if there was one problem, honestly, in my opinion, with Darling in France, is that it was predictable. It was predictable. I mean, you could understand what was going to happen because Trigger always goes throwing space planet. A massive woman, big as a planet, right? That is how they're doing it, yeah. And of course, Hero got inside his dog. Yeah, he got inside of her, right? So he was actually literally inside the Franks, which was pretty funny. But yeah, so I mean, what's gonna happen, right? And I'm telling you, if this anime doesn't have massive space thing, traveling, yeah, it's gonna be that. It's the same thing in Promare. If you see Promare, it starts like, oh, we're firefighters and we fight this stuff. And Promare's pretty good movie. Yeah, so then it's like, oh no, the planet's gonna be destroyed tomorrow. And it's like, hey, even bigger. And then suddenly they're like fighting with two big mechas. And they're like, I don't know, sending like planet destroying fire. Sort of, right? It's like, and he has ice powers. It's like, why can't you say the planet instead? And yeah, and everyone is burning alive and so on. Yeah, I mean, that's the trigger, right? So he's obviously gonna go from a small setting to like space fight, right? Really like, I don't know, like the planets can be like basketball, so you're gonna like dribble with the planets, right? And you're gonna throw planets, or yeah, it feels for sure happen. I'm telling you guys, but it's probably gonna be good. But it is trigger, and again, I say it, absolutely. I can't understand people complaining about Darling in France going crazy in space. Like what else? Where else are you gonna go to? That is trigger. It's also gonna go to that. But whatever. Appare Ranman I like because it's kind of like a Wacky Races, okay? So if you ever see, I grew up, right? I'm old, but I'm not that old, but still, as a kid, right? I grew up watching, of course, the Wacky Races, right? So this is like a red line thing, right? They're driving. It's like a setting where they have different cool cars, right? And they have like a race anime, the car race, right? But car races with like a weird, as I say, Trans-American wild race, yeah. So they have this weird, cool steampunk cars and different kind of, crazy anime design cars, right? And then the race. It actually sounds really good in my opinion, actually. Appare Ranman. I mean, who doesn't want like Wacky Races anime? Basically, Redline. And yeah, again, Redline. Freaking awesome move for that matter. This seems like a less crazy Redline, right? Which is one of my favorite anime movies of all time. I really love Redline. It's a freaking awesome movie. So this anime sounds really good in premise, at least. Could be one of the best anime next season, in my opinion. I like how it's called historical for a genre, though. It's like historical, yeah. Remember that crazy wacky race they had in America 200 years ago? Yeah, sure, yeah, historical. But whatever. I say one thing, though, which I stand by saying absolutely. And that PA Works, I feel, has been failing massively, though, with the last elements done, though. Massively. So that I would say is a concern, though, right? PA Works, didn't they do the freaking, isekai world, right? Colorful world. They have one of the worst ending I've seen in the recent years of anime, or the top 10 at least. That's 5 years. Horrible ending. Like one of the worst episodes I've seen that year, if not the worst. Horrible ending. Such a bad written ending. And they also did, Fairy Gone, right? And Fairy Gone was like crap too, and yeah. So I don't know. I mean, that to me at least, the studio has been doing some really bad stuff in my opinion. The latest, let's see, yeah. I mean, Irusoku Sakai. That was such a bad ending, horrible ending, and then did like Fairy Gone, right? One of the worst paced anime. Yeah, so I feel that they don't good anime in the past, but they've been pretty bad in the latest 2-3 years. So, and then we have, I don't know, gaming, fantasy anime. I don't really care. I feel like I don't care anymore. Stop giving me these like strange. I mean, isekai kinda in a game world. I mean, like whatever. I'm just gonna go on. I feel this has been a week. Yeah, this is interesting though. So obviously we have to consider like a Venice or Florence. Sorry, Florence, of course, the enemy of Venice. What an insult for me. But the image is freaking Venice. Did that both into the Florence? Okay, because Florence is freaking. I'll explain this thing. So Florence is a city in Tuscany, right? In Tuscania region of Italy, and they had and Florence was controlling Pisa, and they were controlling Piscano. That's my English, but they were controlling that area that led turned into Tuscany, right? During the 16th century in the Renaissance area, and of course the Renaissance birthplace is Florence, because Florence is. The area where Leonardo da Vinci is born. He's actually born as son of Florence, it's Ascanio or more, but still, right? So the birthplace of the Renaissance is Florence. That being said, though, the image there is freaking Venice. The image there is a freaking person in a boat, right, in a floating boat. That's Venice. which is like the enemy of Florence at the time. So I'm just saying, the image, I don't know. I haven't read the manga, but maybe they're going to Venice dance, the deadly enemies controlled by the has to be the Medici family at the time. Yeah, Medici should be controlling Venice at the time. But anyway, so it's like a historical setting anime, right? So I think it's interesting. But yeah, we're gonna see. Florence was very powerful at the time then, and they created Tuscany and then said Lombardia and so on. Remember, of course, that Italy was this best different kind of states, right? It was Genoa, Venice, Rome, and so on, and all fighting Papa state more correctly, but yeah, and fighting each other, right? So there was Italy at the time, right? But whatever. I don't care. Honestly, it's like whenever made girl anime, yeah. It's a little more mystery anime for Cloverworks. Might be good. I feel they also done. Those the studio I feel that they do decent. I feel they do like decent mystery, right? Yeah. And I think a problem with mystery animes is always like, I see it every season now, but it's like mystery animes, depending on how they explain the plot, right? When they twist the plot and so on, it's always like, so I'm a little bit, yeah. I'm also a little worried about animes. I feel that studio also done a little bit meh in that way. Listeners, not a music anime. This might be really good for Mapa. Yeah, this might be really good. Hard to say original anime, but Mapa does pretty good anime. And it's pretty anime. I mean, I don't know too much, right? Because original animes we can't really check out before on trailers. But basically, it's one of these half dystopian future people making music. So it's kind of like Karen Tuesday, maybe. Yeah, who knows? Right? But it's kind of like that. Yeah, might be good anime, maybe not. And then here's another isekai trash anime, right? But here at least I have to say, compared to the 8th Sun, which is like, man, I have heard about this premise a billion times. Here at least it's a little different premise. So in Satsu Battle no Yikan Deshou, the main character is instead a guild master, basically. He's the president of it. He basically is the guild master guy, right? He's just like, you were gonna fix this issue, you were gonna fight those monsters. So this is about the guy that is controlling the different heroes, right? Controlling the different, the quests and so on. Yeah. So this might actually be an interesting an anime. It might be an interesting anime, yeah. Kind of like I don't know, Dungeon Master and so on. That kind of stuff. Yeah, we work more than the management aspect, right, of being in a fantasy world. So maybe it's So maybe it's good. Isekai strategy and role-playing game. You're actually playing as the strategist person behind everything. And this is an anime I think that sounds very promising though. Nami yo Kitikure. Yeah, this is I think it would be one of the best anime seasons. So, this is about an anime about a female that, how I say it, she's complaining about her romance or crush whatever. That's get listened by like a broadcaster. It gets, sent out on the radio. She gets super angry, she fights with them about that, that's recorded, people like it, and then she kind of gets her own radio show, right? So it's like, listen to me, yeah. It's like a very aggressive, like talking her own person. Yeah, I'll say it's like a, no censorship. It's like, I hate everyone, yeah, that kind of, crazy radio host character. It's like, oh, screw everyone, this shit, and yeah. It sounds like actually a very interesting anime about a woman that's gonna go cray on on a radio show, yeah. So this I think is gonna be one of the best anime next season. It's obviously very seinen, right? It's gonna be a little more adult jokes, it's gonna be a little more, maturity, right, and so on. Probably some observational comedy more in that sense, and some, general stuff. But also probably in that sense also very little action, right? It's a pure comedy romance anime. So, definitely not an anime if you want, some people to punch someone. It's gonna be much more arguments and fights and so on. I've been speaking of Yashin Dropkick. I think that anime was weak, season 1. Didn't fancy the comedy that much. It's about, how I explain this anime, it's about a girl, which is like a lamia, whatever she is, something like that, and she's like a slave to some evil human that, like, I don't know, mice and their lives her. And she tries to kill her every day, and she fails, and then she gets punished for it. And the comedy is somewhat funny. I mean, I didn't like this season 1 that much. I was like, it's okay. It's one of these like, meh. I feel this season is a lot of meh comedy parts too. Grand Blue, of course, based on the gaming and so on. I mean, if you like the Grand Blue, I guess. I have the fighting game. It's pretty good, yeah. Digimon, and I think it's down to children stuff now, I guess. Actually, is this a Digimon remake? I guess. Right? It's focusing on the. I'm actually confused what this is. I mean, obviously they watch Digimon if that's the main. I heard they're gonna do like a remake, but it's still featured in 2020 with the classic main characters. So I don't know, but this is the remake I think of Digimon, like the weird remake thing where they're doing the stuff that are kind of like the first season, but not really. Still a new story, but with the same original cast, right? So this might be super nostalgia, maybe. I have to watch it again to look it up. Yeah, because like. I mean, obviously I like Digimon as a kid, right? I wasn't a kid, I was a teenager, but still, I like Digimon when it's new. This is to be the original cast, right? But with a new storyline. So it might be cool. It might be cool, yeah, who knows? It might be good. Let's hope it's good. And then it's like, slice of life anime, they're doing fishing, or yeah. It might be good. I like slice of life animes. But see the trailer, I was laughing out loud. I was like, yeah, it looks okay. Doggy Kobo, yeah, they do a lot of this. They do a lot of this slice of life laid back, but it's like a laid back Yuri camp, laid back camp, right? Coin Astro, just a laid back sort of life anime, right? If you like the genre, it's probably a decent anime. And then here, I like sport anime. Okay, I like sport anime. I was watching Cinderella Baseball, right, when that aired. I think it was pretty good. This is a little more serious. Cinderella was kind of slowly paced, I guess. But yeah, a little more serious, sport, baseball anime. I think that's an interesting manga. Obviously, One House is still the greatest baseball storyline ever. But yeah, this might be good. I haven't heard much about it, but it seems interesting. They are a full female team. I don't know if that matters so much if it's seinen. I think Cinderella was a little too much, very cute girls and so on. This is a little more seinen, so might not matter too much that they're all girls. But I mean, when you have an all-girl sport anime, the problem is, and I say problem, it might be cool though, it might be really cool, but the problem is that it might go a little bit like, oh, it's so cute and more, right? For example, you have an anime like, you watch Pedal, biking anime, which is really good in the beginning list, bicycle anime, really awesome in the beginning, really cool and so on. Then you have another anime, which I can't really get the name now, but it's very similar premise to the anime, but they're all girls instead, and it's really bad in my opinion. I can't remember the name now because I forget names. It's how bad it is. And then anime has the same premise, but instead of being like, yeah, we're badass senpai, let's go and bike and beat this guy and so on, right? The storyline is like, yeah, we're cute girls, so we want to do that, but then spend 10 minutes, being cute and going, fashion or whatever, or something weird. But it's not really good in that sense either. So it's not really, it's not cute enough, right? It's kind of just nothing. So this anime does sound a lot more serious though, but might be an issue. Pokemon, of course, keep airing. Whatever game I care about. Historical writers might be good, but I don't care. And here, obviously, a Gairu anime, of course. Gal and her monster. This is probably the last anime I care about, which I would recommend for next season. So this is about a Gairu then, Kaguya-sama, that fights like a dinosaur, and then she's gonna be like, yeah, and I don't know, she's gonna hang out with this weird dinosaur monster thing. But it's a Gairu, come on, it's a Gairu, a Gairu, yeah, come on, it's gonna be awesome. It's just the best kind of female character, yeah, obviously it's gonna be an awesome anime. Kingdom, it's of course a pretty bad anime, I feel, but a very good manga, so I don't know, probably should read the manga instead. But yeah, and now we have more historical. I say it, I feel it's been a weak season 2. Without my Zero, I feel it's pretty weak. I wouldn't recommend too many animes. Now we're down to the children, so yeah, now we're down to the the Yu-Gi-Oh! And other aimed at kid show. Yeah, here in the bottom right. Pretty good and so on. So I don't know. I feel the season again is. I mean, I talked about the good animes in the beginning, right? Yeah, and everything is children's or not. So I don't know. What do you think, guys? I think the season is pretty weak again, honestly. Actually, maybe even weaker than last season. Or this season, I mean last, but this season is ending now. Because it's a lot of like coming back season 2 animes, which are not, except obviously Kaguya-sama, which obviously is the best thing ever. But except that anime, I'm not overly like, oh my god, season 2 of this stuff. I'm like, oh yeah. And for example, Honzuki. I think Honzuki was a pretty good anime, but I mean, obviously, I'd rather see like Araburu or there's so many other isekai I prefer over that anime, right? For example. So it's not like a bad anime, but it's also not like my amazing as the 2 already. It's more like, yeah, I can watch it, So I think there's a lot of animes, unfortunately, there's a lot of it. They're okay. I would say immediately the 2 animes that I really excited for, right, are only probably Kaguya-sama and Bakarina, yeah. Otome, all flags, that's probably mine, as I mentioned, of course, several times, but I think those for me are like my 10 out of 10 animes, and then the other animes I don't think they're that strong. I don't think so. So you're gonna see. I will admit that I feel a little bored out from last season as well. So yeah, and well, there is of course a problem which I won't talk about too much here as a last point, right? Not only was R0 delayed, but also a few other animes too, right? Because of the obvious reason, which you can't mention on YouTube. So yeah, this season suddenly got weaker, right? By far, yeah. And we have to see. This isekai trash might be good and so on, right? But basically, what I had the thumbnail when I talk about in the description, that's what the good animes I feel, and the other animes aren't that strong. So yeah, leave a comment below, guys. Stream so on, and yeah, what do you think? But I don't know, yeah, this is probably my shortest anime guide ever, I feel. It's usually like an hour at least, but I feel now, I'm like, man, I'm not really feeling it. Even less than last season, because it's like, yeah, it's like 5 or 6 animes, like, yeah, okay, Fruit Basket is pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. And it's very few, I guess, new animes, which is like, wow, it's like very few new animes that I feel impressed by. That's the sad truth, I guess. It's reality. But the season, well, mainly thanks to R0, but the season looked, I mean, very, very promising with R0. It looked very promising. It is with that anime and the other two I saw too, but yeah. So whatever, that's it, guys. Hope you guys review, see or preview. See you guys, of course, next season. Subscribe, put up on the so on. And of course, I'll say one last thing here. As always, though, I personally, I'm gonna watch like, all the animes, right, and then we're gonna do the drop video. So next video after this, not for every day, right, but like continuation, I mean, for this kind of setting is in about 5-6 weeks from now, I'm gonna do the drop, you know, what anime drop or not, right? So then I'm gonna watch every anime that airs, 3 episodes each, or more, and then I'm gonna do the whole, like, okay, what do I feel now, right? So except for that video, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting video where we kind of was the prediction correct, right? Talk about some of the animes and so on, right? But yeah, it feels like a pretty mediocre season again, right? After following another mediocre season, so we will see where it's gonna go. Anyways, hey guys, and I'll see you soon with Isekai, of course, Quartet season 2, episode 11, right? Whatever, that's coming up soon. Half an hour from now, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be Philo, yeah. No, I don't know. It's gonna be about someone else, but yeah, let's look at Philo.